Hello, and welcome back to my channel. This is Reality with Diva G. How you doing? So, since I watched all the Queens, man, in a nice, neat little bowl, watching maybe 2, 3 episodes at a time, I decided instead of going one episode at a time to do just a little quick, all around wrap up of this last part of season 4, I believe it is. So let's get back into it. I'm gonna break down what's going on with everybody on the show. The big storylines, okay? So one of the storylines we have Big D and Fuego, right? They're acting like the Keystone Cops. Then we have Midnight and his issues with the psycho ass stalker. Then we have a 3-parter, and we have Knight, his son, and Miss Tandy dying, and her pregnancy. And of course, we cannot forget what's going on with Madam. Now, as you may know, Blue is still seeing a psychiatrist. So as you may know, Madam is on trial. And remember, Trouble has actually gone into witness protection. So everybody testifies in Madam's case. She hired Smoke to get rid of everybody that testifies against her. But for some reason, she just can't get rid of the concierge, right? So Smoke goes down. He finds the cop, I think her name is Layla, and he does the most hideous, outlandish thing to her and takes her out by eating her guts, literally. If I'm lying, I am flying. I cannot make this stuff up. And you know what? In some ways you could tell at this point that this is not, I don't think this is the mind of Kristen Keys. I really honestly believe that this is the mind of Mr. Taylor and Tyler Perry. Because this show is going down a dark path, a dark road. We know Madam, does what she has to do, but I don't remember, her just being out there like that. But she does leave it up to Smoke to do whatever it is he has to do. So we have her, she's taken out. Nobody hears from her again. Then we have Fuego and his issues, right? So Fuego is still pining over Sandra. Now, again, my recollection serves me as that Madam took her out. But I guess to keep Fuego on the show and to make this shit make sense, hey, let's go with it. So a couple of white guys supposedly took her out by raping her. So, raping her. So Fuego and Big D play Keystone Cops. And what they do is they kidnap the 2 white guys and take them out. Well, D takes them out because D don't give a fuck. But, Fuego, he has conscience or whatever. And he doesn't really want to take them out. But Fuego, Big D does it, and that's the end of it. But all this while, Madam has a target on her head. Several people are after Madam at this point. We have Carla, her own sister, Tony, her own sister, and Tony's friend. I think his name is Big D. No, that's not Big D. I don't know what that dude's name was, but I'm gonna call him Heavy Cookie. Cause he loves cookies. So they're plotting to take out Madam's club. And then they decide they want to rob Madam's club. Well, that's a big mistake. They take out Blue and they put her in a locker and they rob Madam's club. Well, Madam's got to get down to the bottom of this. And she finds out that it's Heavy Cookie. And Tony, well, Doc tells her that Tony was involved as well. She doesn't take out Tony because remember, Tony is still her sister, but she hates Tony. And she really wants Carla to take out Tony because Carla wants Madam Bees really bad. Maddie Bees really bad. Now, mind you, she has sick smoke on everyone. They go to court, actually, D.A. Rice has a good case against her. And she's presenting her case really well. Even though once trouble gets on the stand, she flips that thing and reverses. And so Madam is so proud of her, she calls Smoke off of trouble and decides to make her a VIP dancer. Meanwhile, you have Q, who is Lil Babyface's son, and they look the same age, by the way. He is going through hell. I mean, his mom wants child support, and this is really weird because this again is out of the mind of Tyler Perry. He decides that he's gonna get child support against his dad. You don't apply for child support yourself. The father still has to do that. But this show is supposed to be a drama. And drama's Tyler Perry. 9 times out of 10, you have to make it look somewhat realistic. Not all the time, but most of the time. Like, let's go, for example, how we are watching Law and Order. You know what I'm saying? Even though Law and Order stories are pulled from the headlines, it is still a show. Or 911. Any of these shows, they're still shows. Grey's Anatomy. The only unrealistic thing that happened on Grey's Anatomy that was just like it to the extreme outlandish that couldn't possibly happen was that woman getting pregnant with a black girl and erasing it from her mind. That was weird, right? So, I mean, that's turned me off so bad. That was around time I pretty much stopped watching the show. And these strange, extreme, unrealistic things that happen on this show adds comedy to the show. And I don't think that's the direction Christian Keys wanted to take it in. It's a little bit lighter because people often compare Madam and Rock. It's a little bit lighter than Power. But, Power does have its unrealistic, extreme, outlandish moments as well. But nothing comedic. You know what I'm saying? So we find out that Tony is scheming. And she's used her son. She used everyone. She's trying to get Club E. Now, why would she want Club E? Because she thinks she's so much above Club E. As soon as she gets Club E, then she's going to take her son out of there. But the one thing about it is that her son is loyal to Madam. The only person who's not loyal to Madam in the club is let's see. Wait a minute, everybody in the club is loyal to Madam. All the dancers are. I was gonna say at this point they're thinking that Blue is loyal to her because she's going to see the therapist on the down low, and we're gonna get to that. So she is plotting and scheming against Madam. Tony is. But when Madam finds out that she's plotting and scheming against her, she got to keep her nose clean, right? So she hires Carla to check her out. Now Carla can't do it. So Tony reverses that thing and decides that she wants to get Carla involved in taking Madam out. So these are all the suspects. Now remember, Fuego is a suspect as well. So we have Madam still on trial. It's getting down to the wire, and Blue is never at the courthouse. So since she's never at the courthouse, they're very suspicious of Blue. Blue is seeing a counselor. Now, I've always said that they always bring innocent people into their mess. And I don't know still really if the counselor really was really going after Madam in any way, or was she setting Blue up? I don't know any of that. It wasn't really explained, but for some reason Blue assumed that she was, because of the type of questions she was asking. She started asking her about her boss. What Belinda? What about your boss? Yeah, she's a very beautiful woman. And then Belinda's like, how you know? And I don't ever remember Blue telling her what her real name was. So Blue should have been picking up on something when she still was calling her Belinda. But I guess she must have thought maybe, it was professional. Now, mind you, her army buddy is the one who recommended this counselor. And she takes her out. The most disturbing, move right along. The most disturbing details about this trial is they bring up about how Madam has taken people out with guillotine. Right? Once concierge decides to testify against Madam, he lets her know. He's like, well, you're going to get away with this, but, are you bulletproof? So there's another suspect. So Midnight falls for the okey-doke, as he normally does. He's so stupid. That's the stupidest character on the show. I do not like Midnight. I've always expressed that I don't like Midnight. He has a bunch of children as well, talking about Babyface with all his kids. We don't know any of these kids, by the way, because we see them as deadbeat damn dads, right? So he decides that he's going to follow through and go through with the crazy rape case with the girl. And so he decides that he was going to just bust into her room, her idea, and she puts him on tape. So he reverses that thing because he gets arrested for it. And he puts her on tape. Now, mind you, she's nuts. Let's keep that in mind. Madam finds out that Big Cookie is the one who's working with Tony. I'm not going to go back and look at the show and find out what his name is. If you watch the show, you know who the hell I'm talking about. Because you know why I call him Big Cookie? Well, we're about to find out. The reason why I call him Big Cookie is Doc tells Madam about Tony and Big Cookie's schemes. And she goes over there knowing he's fat and knowing he loves to eat. She gives him his favorite cookie. Well, I knew you would bring me my favorite cookies, Madam. I absolutely adore and love these almond cookies. Well, was it macadamia? No, he's allergic to nuts. So I forgot the name of the cookies. Maybe chocolate chip, macadamia, chocolate. I don't know. But anyway, the point is, once he started eating the cookie, he started getting choked up. And he's like, so Madam lets him know, I know what your allergies are. And I'm going to fuck you up because you tried to destroy my club and tried to steal my club from me. And so he tells her, that was all Tony. He tries to, put it off on Tony. And she she knows it's both of them. Then Tony, mind you, is setting him up as well. Well, baby, once he starts getting choked up, he realizes there's almonds in the cookie. That's why I realized that it couldn't be almond cookies that she had told him what they were. I mean, it was some other thing that some other concoction type cookie, maybe like I said, chocolate chip. But it had to be a special cookie. to make him really just want to eat him. Surely just want plain chocolate chip. But anyway, Tommy had stirred up or whatever. Speaking of Tommy, did y'all see him when he threw that ice cream in old girl's face? I mean, come on now. But these people are extremely loyal to Madam. So he stirs up the cookies, he eats the cookies, he gets choked up. And Madam pretends like she's going to get him an EpiPen. But at first he confesses everything while he's getting choked up. And then she passes him the EpiPen with no medicine in it. He falls on the floor. I would have thought that Big Cookie, even though, that is Madam's way, and it was quite funny. And see, that's what I'm talking about comedic elements that I just really don't like in this show. He falls on the floor, and then she say, "That's what you get." And I knew your fat ass couldn't resist the cookie. And when he falls on the floor, he dies from an allergic reaction to the cookie. By the way, he also testified against her. I would have thought that, like I said, I would have thought that he would, the way he stole her club and stuff, I would have thought that he would have, went out more so with a bang. Now we have Doc. Doc and Midnight have the stupidest capers, right? They get into the most foolish situation. Here he is still messing with Detective Davis and humping on her. Wow, the girl that he put something in her drink, she's running around town posting his picture all over town, talking about he gives women date drugs, So we find out that, he did these things to her because he was just trying to get information out of her being at the police station. So she falls for it, but she doesn't take it any longer. She finds out for a fact that he did something to her drink. And Detective Davis, while still screwing Doc, tells her that it was him. Child, I cannot make this stuff up. So, back to the trial. Madam gets off. She gets away with doing all the things that she's done. And it is what it is, right? And then we find out finally, that Dime is pregnant. Please, Tyler Perry land, do not drag this on. But, word on the street is that Christian Keys is thinking about, taking him off the roster altogether and moving the show from BET Plus. So I wonder what's going on with that ever since he, told a story about how Tyler Perry tried to get at his booty. And allegedly get at his booty. And he dropped that lawsuit. But the white boy didn't drop the lawsuit. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, Dime is pregnant. She doesn't know who the father is. It could be Big D, and it could be M, because she slept with both of them the same night. Wow, I know that the pregnancy by two different men is a fact, and I personally knew someone that happened to. In my DHS case, I mentioned it before. Don't do this shit no more. Because people don't believe. You know what I'm saying? No matter how realistic you can make that story to be believable, people are not going to believe it. Like I said, when it happened on Sisters, I was talking about how a couple of my friends and I had the biggest argument about it because the first time I heard about it was years ago on Guiding Light. To Blake. There was a character named Blake on there. And she got pregnant by her husband and her friend. So, it can happen. Yes, it can happen. To me, speaking of Doc, though, to me, you can't be loyal to Madam if you still messing with the ops, in my opinion. So, she seeks smoke. She gets off with her crimes or whatever. And she seeks smoke on D.A. Rod. I know I was talking about Dime, but Dime, the main thing is she pregnant. She don't know who the father is. And so she sick smoke on dead ride. I mean, he comes up with the most outrageous ways to take people out. So he goes on to this long story and tells her about what happened in the electric chair. I thought for sure he was gonna let her go because she had quit the case anyway. But she did go against Madam and she did prosecute her. So here we go. So he sits her in the electric chair, don't even put the sponge on her, and takes her out by electric chair. Wow. I guess he was trying to say, look at all the people you took out by electric chair when you convicted them or had them convicted. So, in the grand scheme of things, what's happening is Tandy is being messed with by Madam still because she's the mayor. And Madam does great things for the community, but don't all gangsters do that? Great things for the community. So she decides she wants to open a center, a children's center. When she gets ready to cut the ribbon and break ground on the place, we find out that there are dead bodies buried there. I believe the ones that she had buried there. I think Smoke was putting those people there. But anyway, one of them know about it. And it looks like it's Fuego. But Fuego always have been shaky with her as far as being an ops because he has a conscience, really. And so when everything shakes out, she doesn't open or break ground like she wants to. Tandy finds out. She goes home. She talks to Kip because Babyface is sleeping in his car because he owes so many people so much money. Which, again, this makes no sense. Seeing as how these particular set of strippers are supposed to be, kind of wealthy. When you make good money as a stripper, you live very well. The stripper that I knew back in the day, he drove a Cadillac Escalade back in the day. Pretty much paid for it in cash. Out his tips. And I know the type that they are. They could do that. Like Doc, for example. But I do keep in mind that, this is the show. They have to throw that in there because Trouble, she offers Babyface to live with her, but, he don't want to live in no little dank apartment. It's just weird to me that all these VIP strippers, including Trouble, because Trouble made a lot of money from her regular stripping gig. They talk about how much money they make on the show. And they all live very average, regular lives. While Madam lives in a mansion. It's just weird. Seem like they would on their own be living in penthouses and stuff like that, and the best of the best. But that's neither here nor there. And it seemed like as long as Midnight has been dancing for her, you would think that he wouldn't have any problem paying for his child support. But that's neither here nor there. So, Madam decides that she wants to break ground on the place and open the place. But Tandy is very upset with her. So she goes home and talks about it. So there's another suspect. And what do I mean by suspects? Right? It's a bounty on Madam's head. A lot of people want to take Madam out. So, at the end of the show, the crazy, spoiler alert, the crazy stalker girl that wants Midnight, she stabbed the shit out of him. Pow, 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 pow. Now I'm saying pow, pow, pow because, baby, the way she was stabbing him in those muscles, it was sounding like it. If I can't have you, I can. Then she runs out. So, when the show gets ready to close, Madam doesn't mind being alone, which is always weird because she always have Belinda and Tommy with her. So, somebody comes in and takes a shot at Madam, and they don't miss. So, who done it? Who is the person that had the audacity to shoot at Madam? Now, we know Detective Davis is probably a good shot because she's a cop. We know the concierge is probably a good shot because he's a gangster. Fuego, I don't know. Because Fuego, like I said, he's shaky, he's very nervous, but he is very angry at Madam. He should be angry at her because she's the real person that took out his girlfriend. But they switched that story up. But that's neither here nor there. And who else could have been a suspect? Well, Tandy. Tandy's not a good shot because she didn't take out D.A. Ross. But these are all the people that's possible suspects in Madam's demise, or so we think. Now, you know, being that she's the star of the show, she's probably going to make it. However, with all the changes that Christian Keys is making, he probably would rather have her taken out and the show taken off the air than be under Tyler Perry's control. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you think took Madam out. And do you think that she's going to make it or she's not going to make it because the show is about to be canceled? Come on in. Come on in. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button. You will be notified when I upload a video. Now, if I was Christian Keys, I wouldn't do it because there's a lot of story to be told still, because we have, you know, the story with who's the papa. But at the same time, you know, he wants creative control of his own show. The only thing he wanted Tyler Perry to do was be a consultant on the show and let him use his production studio. So, well, we know how Tyler Perry is. He want to put his little nasty writing fingers on everything that he comes in contact with. And Christian Keys probably just asked him for some advice. And then he started writing for the show. You noticed the changes. I know you noticed the changes as well. And starting probably around season 3. Only been on 4 seasons. Well, I would say season 2B, because they've always done that split up season type shit on this show. Because I thought this was going to be season 5 coming up. The last, it was like the last 8 episodes or something like that. But anyway, drop down in the comments. Tell me who you think done it. Who done it? Who do you think the papa is? Who's the papa? And communicate with me online. Let's talk about this. Like I said, come on in, like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button. You will be notified when I upload a video. And share the video. Why? Because sharing is indeed caring. And as I do, when I close, I'm going to chunk them up. Deuces.